What's good, YouTube? My name's Elliot. You may know me as the Immature Student. Welcome to another video, and today we're going to be producing the most outdated book review ever released on BookTube for Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. I do apologise if that's blinding you. It's a very shiny book. So why am I doing this? Two reasons. One, I've only just read it. I've never read the book before. And two, it's kind of a shameless plug to get more views on the channel because it's such a popular book. But I would like to get on with the review and actually just tell you guys what I thought about this book. So let's start, as I always do, by revealing the number of pages in the book, which is 436, technically 435.5. But it's a pretty long book for YA. The font is fairly big, but for a YA dystopian book, 435, even with generous sized font, is still fairly long. What do I think of the length of the book, I hear you ask? I think that it's probably okay, actually. I think that there's no kind of chapters throughout that I thought, oh god, this is shite and could be cut, and that would, make it a more fluid read, as I often think. So it follows the story, as if any of you don't know, of Katniss, who takes her sister's place at this event called the Hunger Games, which is basically Love Island with killing. To put it, in terms that the modern audience will understand. At the time it was written, it was probably more like Big Brother with killing, because that was the big thing. So let's first of all just talk about the thing that really bugged me. At the back of this edition, and I don't know if this is in all the editions or just this edition I picked up from a charity shop, it may shock you to know, there's kind of an interview with Suzanne Collins, and she is asked how she came up with the idea. She says she was channel flicking, and she went between like a war-torn country and a reality TV show, and suddenly Katniss' story came to her. And I was just kind of left wondering, was that a day or a week after she saw Battle Royale, and then basically just rewrote that for a British audience? Because let's be honest, Battle Royale is not a little-known Japanese film, and it's a classic, and it's basically the Hunger Games meets Centrinians, because it's like for bad kids. But alas, aside from that slight annoyance, I was actually pleasantly surprised by the book. The prose is fairly engaging, it's fairly well written. There are some surprises in it. There were things that happened which I didn't see happening. And up to about 3/4 of the way through this book, I thought, you know what, this is one of those rare books which is worth the hype it got. And then I read the end of the book, and I'm going to be entirely honest with you, no spoilers or anything, because I know, I'd only just read the book, so I know that some of you people may have not read the book. But the end of the book is really, really not good. The book is well written, the characters are kind of well put together in my opinion. I know a lot of people moan that Katniss is really two-dimensional and depressing. I don't actually think she's that unlikable of a character, but maybe that's because I'm two-dimensional and depressing myself. But I think all the characters were fine, I think all the action was fine, I think the length and the pacing was fine, but the end of the book is just bad. So you kind of get towards the end and you think, oh, something kind of dramatic is going to happen, and then nothing dramatic happens. In fact, nothing happens. Like, the Hunger Games ends, and, we know from, the films and everything that have been released, we kind of already knew who was going to survive, and we kind of have an idea of what's going to happen next, but you get none of that at the end. You know who survives, but you get no indication of what's going to happen next. You get no kind of setup for the next book. It's really bizarre, in my opinion, having not read the next two, that there are another two books. This book could have completely satisfactorily ended where it did, because they kind of make out that something's going to happen at the end, and then it doesn't happen. And either that's just a shameless way to set up for the second book, because you're like, well, there was a disappointing non-ending, so I have to read on to see what happened. Or if it was just that she kind of had an idea of what she wanted to do at the end, and then realised that she couldn't pull it off, and she just made up some naff non-ending where basically nothing happens for the last two chapters. I don't know, but for me, the ending really disappointed me, and I think for that reason I'm going to actually give this 3.5 out of 5 pages. It would have been a 4-pager, you know, it's pretty well written, and the characters are fine, they're not amazing or super someone that you want to follow around, but they're pretty good. There's no kind of issues with pacing or anything, but the ending just really lets the book down, and really, for me, makes me not want to bother reading the next 2 books. And maybe I will. If I ever run out of other things to read, maybe I'll read on. But for me, I don't think I'll bother, because the end of this book was just so disappointing. So, that's the video. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. One quick thing before you go, if you're still here, thank you very much. I, myself, am an author, and if you search on the Kindle bookstore for e.r.dallow, which is D-A-L-L-O-W, you will find my books. I have a series out, currently 2 books. The second book was just released. And if you're interested in reading some dystopian steampunk, then give that a whirl. Shameless plug out of the way. Peace and love. See all of you guys in the next video.